and welcome back. If you are new here, this is Farm with Carm, and over here on this channel we choose to grow both figuratively and literally so that we are able to just live a little bit better in terms of what it is that we're putting in our bodies. And so we are coming out of the winter season and starting a new year. I kind of took a break on my gardening, but I decided to do a couple of fermentation projects this year. And so I just kind of wanted to share that journey with you all because this is new for me, but I'm all about everything health, everything immune boosting. So I decided that instead of buying all of the things that I like, I wanted to start making it. And the first fermentation project we are going to do this year is fermented honey garlic. And I can't even remember how I found out about this, but I think I was kind of just looking into, I think it started with me looking at kombucha because I absolutely love kombucha, and that will come next. But I ended up finding out about honey garlic, and so I saw that it has a lot of immune boosting properties, antiviral, antibacterial, helps lower blood pressure. And so I just decided to give it a try. And so I wanted to show you all the process that I'm going to take. And if you all are experts in fermenting or have any tips and tricks that you have, please feel free to leave it in the comments below so that it can help me and anybody else watching this video. And so honestly, to do this fermentation, all you need is 3 things, which is a jar, mason jar preferably, honey, unfiltered raw honey that has not been heat treated, and raw garlic. You need raw garlic, preferably organic. You know, you can get garlic from your farmer's market, garlic that you're growing yourself, but you just want garlic that is really already not unpeeled. I've seen some people get it in the refrigerator, but I see most people say get the garlic and peel it yourself. So that's what we're gonna do today. Like I said, you only need those 3 things, but because I am making this a fermentation journey and I plan on doing quite a few ferments this year, I decided to get the things that I felt like I would need to succeed. And so I will share that with you, okay? So first thing that we really need is a mason jar. And I decided to get the wide mouth mason jars just because I felt like it would be easier to kind of pull the garlic in and out when I needed to use it. And I have a whole pack of these, and I got these from Walmart. So I'm going to boil these to, I forget what they call it. I think it's like almost like disinfecting them. So I'm gonna boil these in some water along with a little bit of apple cider vinegar just to clean these up. Okay. Next thing that I got is these weights. And so what these weights are going to do is they're going to help me with my ferment because the garlic tends to float at the top. So by me getting these weights, it keeps me from having to turn the jar upside down and then, you know, because I just don't trust myself to check on it every single day. And so I wanted to get the weights so that the garlic does not get exposed above the honey in the process of it fermenting. And I felt like this would help me a lot. And I've seen a couple of other people use it on YouTube as well. Next thing that I got was a burp lid. Similar to the weights, I don't trust myself to pay attention to it every day. And so I didn't want to accidentally look at my ferment and my ferment explode everywhere or start leaking. So I got these self burp lids to help me out, and it will allow the jars to burp themselves on their own. And so if you choose to not get the burp lids, what you'll have to do every day when you're doing your ferment is you'll have to just undo it, and you'll hear a little pop because the gas will release and you'll see like the bubbles from the ferment, and then you'll have to close it right back up. And you'll have to do that daily for, I believe, about 2 weeks. And then you'll kind of be good to go. But I got these lids just to kind of help me out. Next thing I got, which again is so unneeded, but because I am just getting into fermentation and I was reading a couple of comments about, you know, making sure there was no issues with botulism, which really with this ferment, you should not have to worry about it. But I still got a pH meter to test the pH. I'm going to test it today when I first do the ferment. I'm going to test it after a week, after a month, and then after 2 months, just to make sure that the pH is under that 4.6. Again, so unneeded, but for me, I just wanted to get it just to be sure because I'm just starting it and I don't want to accidentally mess up. So I got this just as I'm in the learning process. Okay, and then the last two most important ingredients, we have our raw honey. And I got this from my local farmer's market. I have a pretty big one. And today I decided to make, I'm gonna make 4 jars, 4 16-ounce mason jars, but I mean 3, but if I have enough honey and garlic to do a 4th one, then I'll do a 4th one, okay? And then here is the garlic that we got. I got this from my local Whole Foods, or no, I actually got this from Central Market. I didn't like the way the ones at my Whole Foods looked, so I ended up going to Central Market. And I'm so happy at Central Market because they have all of the garlic laid out and I was able to hand pick the ones that I wanted. So I got all organic bulbs and they were 99 cents a piece. So I tried to get the really big bulbs so that I could get my money's worth, but look at how nice they look. Oh my goodness. I made sure that I got all of the pretty ones. Okay. And so this ended up costing me $11.88 and I got 12. So we're gonna see how many jars I'm able to make with this and let's get to it. I'm going to fast forward to me peeling the garlic and boiling my mason jars. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay, everyone, we are back. So I just got done peeling all of my garlic and I'm not gonna lie, it took me like 2 hours. But luckily I was on the phone with my friend, so the time passed by super fast. I'm not expecting it to always take this long because I'll probably most of the time just do 1 jar. But because I'm making it for me and some family, I ended up getting quite a bit of garlic. So we'll see how this fills up the jars. The main thing we want when we're putting the garlic with the honey is we want to make sure that the garlic is submerged under the honey, but not too much honey over it. So we want a good ratio. And for my garlic, I chose not to cut it up into pieces. I did cut the ends off. That's just because of my preference. I've seen people leave it on, but I chose to take it off. So let's go on and add the garlic into our mason jars. Okay, so the garlic filled our mason jars perfectly, and I tried to leave enough room for me to be able to put in a weight at the top. So here's our garlic, and let's go on and pour in the honey. And I know it's going to take a minute for the honey to go all the way down, so we're just going to pour it in moderation. And this honey isn't just super thick, so it kind of goes down pretty good. I know some raw honeys are kind of thick, at least the one that I like to put in my tea. Let's just put a little bit more. Hopefully I didn't put too much. And let me get a spoon to stir that up. It actually covers the garlic pretty well. Okay, so we have everything pretty good. So the next thing I want to do is I want to test the pH. Just like I told you all before, because this is my first time fermenting, I just want to check the pH as I go to make sure that it is under 4.6. Okay, so I am going to go on and test the pH. We're going to let this sit. Okay. And when we take a look at the reading, we're at a pH of around 4.22. And I just cleaned off the probe, so now we are going to take the pH level of the next one. Let me put it down so you can see it a little bit more. Okay, so we're looking at about 3 point, let me take it out. Set about 3.8 for this one. Okay, and last but not least, we have our third one. And this one is around 3.5. We're around 3.6 now. As you can see, we are already having issues where the garlic is floating to the top, but that's okay because we see all of this honey down here, so we know that the garlic has room to submerge under the honey, and that is where our weights are going to come in handy. So I'm just gonna put one on each jar, and this is gonna keep our garlic underneath the honey. And like I said, if you don't have weights, you can just turn your jars up and down each day to make sure that your garlic is fully coated. And I believe if it's not coated, it could potentially grow mold. And we don't want that because that ruins the whole fermentation. So now we're gonna take our burp lids and we're just gonna put these on right on top. And you don't have to put it on super tight. And what these lids are going to do is it's going to allow carbon dioxide to come out while not allowing oxygen to come in. And these lids came with a pump. However, the pump is not needed early on because a lot of carbon dioxide is going to come out in the very beginning. But as my fermentation goes on and it stops doing all the bubbling, if I ever open my jar and close it back up, I can always use the pump to make sure that all of the oxygen comes out. So we're just going to put these burp lids on each one, and they're really easy to squeeze on and they fit perfectly. And make sure that if you do get these lids that you pay attention to get it for the mason jar that fits your mason jar neck. So you have the regular mouth mason jar, which is kind of like this, and then you have the wide mouth one, the wide neck one, which is a little bit wider. So as far as my weights and my lids go, I got them specifically for the wide neck mason jars. We're gonna squeeze this on, and voila, we are all done. I'm gonna put this in a dark place and allow it to ferment for the next 2 weeks. But feel free to put any comments down in the comment section. If you have any ferment ideas, feel free to share them as well, and I will keep you all updated in the next 2 months on how this fermentation is going. But pretty easy fermentation for the first fermentation. And yeah, let me know how yours goes. Talk to you all later. Bye.